Sample rule for intramurals and reward and incentive for winners. Intramurals are organized program in supervised team, individual or group physical activities in which children and youth in a school agency participate or complete voluntarily. At one time, the word intramural meant literally within the wall of particular building. Today, walls have been expanded to mean the provision for supervised participation regardless of where the wall or facilities are located. When this voluntary participation is under the jurisdiction of one administrative unit, that is school, community, colleges, etc., it is intramural in nature. The concept of intramural gives consideration to numerous social and creative activities which may be designed for and occur in the outdoor, in the gymnasium or any other suitable laboratory. A modern program provides for individual needs, differences and interests. Through intramural, the student is given the opportunity to reinforce the habit, knowledge, skills and attitude acquired in physical education classes. The intramural sports program emphasizes and rewards such as sportsmanship, board participation and ethical leadership. The aim of the program is to provide students with the opportunity to participate in a favorite type of competition and to explore new or untried recreational sports and activities. There is an opportunity for students to participate no matter what the level of ability. There is something for everyone. Now we have intramural managerial personnel. There are three types of managers in the intramural programs. Number one, individual unit, team managers and overall program managers such as senior, junior, sophomore and freshman managers which are in charge of the class structure. The senior manager assigned work to the various junior and sophomore managers. The work includes making out schedule, notifying participants of playing time, recording scores and maintaining other office record and assisting and supervising play areas. Now we have the functions of the intramural council. The number one function is formulating rules and regulations for program activities. Number two is establishing codes of conduct. Number three is identify needs of students and number four is appointing necessary committees. Now we have intramural manager. Senior managers with subordinate aid organize and promote some individuals and dual tournaments. Final approval of the tournament structure rests with the intramural director or assistant director. Junior managers are selected by the intramural director and the senior managers from the class managers staff and should be those students who have demonstrated outstanding ability in their duties. Sophomore managers are picked by the selection committee from students who show interest in trying out for the positions. The only prerequisite for any candidate is an earnest desire and enthusiasm for the jobs. Now we have principal. The principal is the chief administrative officer. The ultimate sources of failure of the program depends on his understanding and cooperation with the intramural department. The principal is responsible for number one, approving all policies and plans. Number 2, facilitating the program. Number 3, providing or securing financial support. Number 4, receiving and scheduling facilities required by the program. Number 5, enlisting the services of staff members. Number 6, communication with officers, communities and students. Number 7, supporting the activities and interpreting the activities. Now we have team captains. The captain should be elected by the group he represents. Team captains are responsible for team organizational strategy, keeping the team informed of the proper time and location of contest, and are to represent the team and serve as its spokesman. The captain should attend all appropriate meetings and should be responsible for equipment. Now we have equipment manager. The extent to which an intramural department has its own equipment depends upon the school community. All equipment should be furnished. The intramural department should furnish what is not personal equipment and then inform participants what they must obtain in order to participate. Any equipment considered personal must be furnished by the participant. Service equipment such as towels, swimsuits, and other equipment provided for physical education classes should also be provided for intramural activities. Now we have officials. Good officiating is the most crucial phase of an intramural program. Many unnecessary protests are prevented through good officiating. Official can be selected from physical education class, varsity athletes, or interested students. Because of the importance of officiating, candidate must be properly trained in rules and officiating techniques. The good official must attend training sessions, work games and contests, and report any problems of conduct to the intramural council or the director. Next we have program procedures. In this we have program scheduling. The intramural program must be carried on at the time that is most conducive to the most participants, along with utilizing facilities, personnel and equipment. The season of the year is also an important consideration. The program is usually arranged around fall, winter, spring and summer activities. The time that is available often determines the type of competition used in the program. It is obvious that the director must anticipate all of the ramifications involved in the program and then plan accordingly. Varsity activities and physical education must be scheduled around in many cases. Now we have promotional techniques. The motivation of an intramural program must be organized very carefully. The big problem becomes getting to the smaller segment of the student body, particularly the individual who is uncoordinated, clumsy, not too popular and highly unskilled. This student is usually amazed to find that the intramural program is for him too. The other need of the program is to instill greater participation by those already involved and to increase the level of efficiency in each individual along with the program. In order to encourage the mass participation, the techniques like bulletin board, posters, circulars, handbooks, mass media and meeting rosters and school paper can also be used. Now we have rules and regulations. In most respects, intramurals are different from regular sports competitions. The objective to perform, excel, achieve and win in intramurals for the honor of our house and glory of sports may be foremost in students' mind, but the real motive is to provide opportunities to maximum student number to receive some training in participation, competition, organization, administration, leadership, officiating, coaching, recreation, etc. Consequently, the rules of intramurals with regard to organizational structure of competition, duration of matches, points, protests, etc. are specifically framed by the intramural committee and proclaimed in advance. The rules of an intramural program falls into two distinct avenues. These avenues are: the first avenue is the modification of the various sports to meet the facilities and the time allotment individual schools program. This avenue must be an outgrowth of a well-guided intramural program aligned to the needs of the local schools and community participants. The second avenue is for the control and protection of the participants in the intramural program. Under this, we have limiting factors. In a sport such as track and swimming, the individual school must decide upon how many events each participant may participate. After this, we have protests. The protest usually arises from officiating difficulty, so pick good officers, train them well, and then back them in every protest difficulty. The other main reason for protest is ineligible participants. If a protest does occur, procedures should require that it be first made in writing. The protest must be within a specified time after the contest. The director or a committee can investigate the protest and determine the necessary action. Now we have postponements. The director of the intramural program should make every effort when scheduling games and tournaments to work with other school department sponsors so as to avoid postponement because of a school conflict. As many as possible, reasons should be anticipated by the program director to avoid postponements. Now we have forfeits. The general policy must include a time limit by which both teams must appear or forfeit the game. One alternative might be to let the punctual team start with a designated number of points. Forfeits shall also be assigned when a team or individual violates the rules covering eligibility of participants. Now we have rosters. Rosters are the qualification in the intramural program. Each team must file with the director's office a complete team roster with all required information. This roster is due before the season begins. Now we have uniforms. The intramural program should provide scrimmage, vest or athletic shirts of some kind for participation. Good taste in sports attire is a part of the intramural instruction program and should be encouraged at every possible opportunity. After this, we have spectators' involvement. Spectators should be welcome to the intramural program activities. A place to the stand or seat should be provided for all events. The spectators at the intramural games are conscious of the caliber of play from intramural teams. They recognize that they are vastly inferior to the varsity. Spectators should not be charged admission fees and consequently should be informed of their guest role at intramural contests. Now we have tournaments. A very important factor in intramural competition is the assignment of the proper type of tournament competition for the specific activity. It is desirable to vary tournament competition to avoid monotony and to give the participants a wider experience in types of tournaments. Now we have awards and recognition. Awards should be used as the means to an end rather than the end itself. The intrinsic values are the important values and they are achieved through the activity. The awards should consist of ribbons and certificates and possibly a project from a shop or art class for the team effort. Pictures of the teams on display may also serve as an award. The school policy on honors convocations might include intramural efforts and be recognized at the end of the semester or year. Now we have budget and finance. The entire intramural program be financed by funds allotted by the school system on the basis that intramurals are an integral part of the whole educational program. Intramural programs at the public school level augment the physical education program and the objectives of education. A budget consideration is mandatory and that must be examined for any program. All financial matters of the intramural program must be in writing. Accounting procedures should be utilized concerning all cash transactions. Now we have records. The director who is interested in this program will be interested in keeping records. Records should not be kept merely for the purpose of having available figures, but should be meaningful and of value to the director, managers, sponsors, students, and advisors. Records for the intramural program should: number 1, provide material for measuring the extent of the program. Next, provide material that is informative to complete staff personnel. Next, provide reports that justify provisions of needed equipment, facilities, and personnel. Indicate order of popularity of activities. Present and accurate pictures of the intramural program. Provide aids in administering the program. Provide indication of % of participation among the student body. Provide a basis for guidance counseling. Show interest and growth in different activities. Serve as stimulating device to certain groups. Provide for awards or other honors among participants. Illustrate the use of facilities. Indicates officiating personnel. Provide sports information in certain activities. Show evidence of parental permission. Now we have incentives and awards. An incentive is a contingent motivator. Traditional incentives are extrinsic motivators which rewards actions to yield desired outcomes. Prizes, awards, rewards, and other materials incentives are traditionally given for good performances and achievements. Certificates, cups, seals, awards, mementos, etc. for credible performances are effective motivation tools for enhanced participating among young children. Prize distribution at the annual sports day is a great attraction for children and their parents. Incentives and awards perpetuate memories of schools or college days. Perhaps is their highest merit the award of the school, college or university's blazer, color or insignia for outstanding performance is a matter of pride for the awardees. It takes them to the threshold of better career courses and professions. Now we are coming to the conclusion. Intramural are organized program in supervised team, individual or group physical activities in which children and youth in a school agency participate or compete voluntarily. The concept of intramural gives consideration to numerous social and creative activities which may be designed for and occur in the outdoors, in the gymnasium or any other suitable laboratory. The intramural sports program emphasizes and rewards such as sportsmanship, broad participation and ethical leadership. The aim of the program is to promote students with the opportunity to participate in a favorite type of competition and to explore new or untired recreational sports and activities. The intramural program must be carried on at a time that is most conducive to the most participation along with utilizing facilities, personnel and equipment. Thus, prizes, rewards, awards and other material incentives are traditionally given for good performances and achievements.